A single proposal in a small British Columbia town has turned into a national story. Powell River Energy has asked for a license to export electricity to the United States for the next 30 years. This would lock in a power supply for America until 2055. But this seemingly routine deal has sparked heavy opposition. Local residents, business groups, and the Tla'amin First Nation are strongly against it. They are redeveloping the old mill site and want to keep the local power for their own community's future. For the United States, the timing is critical. Washington is counting on Canadian energy to balance its own shortages. These shortages were created by high costs and delays in American energy projects. Now, instead of a sure thing, a long-term deal is stumbling at the very first hurdle. This local dispute connects directly to a larger political story, the era of Trump's tariffs. The tariff program was meant to reinforce American control over supply chains. But in the energy sector, it has had the opposite effect. Duties of 25 to 50% on steel and aluminum raised construction costs for new power plants and transmission lines. These added costs slowed down investment exactly when America needed it most. The U.S. energy grid is aging, and demand is surging from data centers, electric vehicles, and new factories. This has created an energy paradox. By making it harder and more expensive to build domestic energy projects, the tariffs made the U.S. more dependent on imports from Canada. At the same time, they gave Canada a strong reason to tighten its grip on its own resources. Canada is no longer treating electricity as an unlimited export. Communities and provinces are pressing to keep more power at home for their own development. The opposition in Powell River is a perfect example of this new mindset. This shift is part of a broader national trend in Canada. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government is launching major nation-building projects. The goal is to capture more of the value chain inside Canada, from critical minerals to clean energy. The longer the U.S. pushes tariffs, the stronger the incentive for Canada to build its own industries rather than just shipping raw materials south. This strategy is especially clear when we look at critical minerals. The real contest of the 21st century is about the minerals that power modern technology. Copper, nickel, and cobalt are essential for electric vehicles, batteries, and advanced computer chips. Canada is positioning itself to be a global leader in supplying these materials. A key example is underway in Northern Ontario. There, a company is building North America's first large-scale cobalt refinery. This is a strategic project, receiving funding from both the Ontario government and the U.S. Department of Defense. Once completed, the refinery will produce enough battery-grade cobalt for about 1 million electric vehicles each year. This moves Canada up the value chain from simply digging ore out of the ground to producing a high-value finished product that the world needs. This gives Canada significant leverage. For the United States, which has little domestic refining capacity for cobalt, this Canadian supply becomes crucial. It reduces reliance on China, which currently dominates the market. So, the story that began with a local power dispute in Powell River ends with a major shift in North American dynamics. Trump's strategy of tariffs and pressure was meant to guarantee American strength. Instead, it has encouraged Canada to conserve its energy and build its own industrial base. The United States now faces a harder reality. The foundation of its plan to bring manufacturing home, cheap, reliable energy, is under strain. And the very partner it relied on for security is now wisely choosing to put its own national interests first. The assumption that Canadian resources are always available for export is no longer valid.